You've been warned. What is up, winning team? And I'm about to issue a warning. This is the second. This is the second video of a two-part intro to the videos I recorded yesterday, which is essentially me crashing out in two videos, and then for the next 4 videos, there might be more. I'm having a funeral for myself. So I'm going to kind of break that down a little bit. This is part 2. There's a part 1 where I kind of was outlining to you guys why I just feel like I'm destined for a life of solitude, because I feel like it's the only way that we can succeed in this life, because wherever there are other humans, I find it's just always limiting. It's always limiting in some way, because you have to have the balance between doing what's right and treating, it's the like the Bible talks about, Jesus came in grace and in truth. So I think that's the equation for love is like grace plus truth, right? Where you show people the necessary grace that is needed while also giving them the right amount of truth. And I even heard one man of God describe it like that. In fact, he wrote a whole book about how love is the tension between grace and truth. Now, here's the thing. I feel like in society, I just need to put the grace aside for a second, basically is what I'm trying to say, because I really feel I've spent so much time trying not to completely shatter people's worlds with my words, but it's just got to the point where now I'm the one who's exhausted, and now I just have nothing left to give. I don't even have dreams anymore. I don't even want the things I used to want. 6 months ago, there were specific things I actually genuinely wanted in this life. And now I just don't want anything, because I feel like I'm always going to have to limit myself. And I hate this feeling of holding back. I really hate it. I hate this feeling of holding back. And I appreciate that part of that is because I've taken a part of me and I've put it into an infinite situations. And I've taken me who's competitive, who cares about winning, who cares about seeing success, who cares about everybody making it to the top. And if it's just a little competition, you know what I mean? That's one thing. If it's just just the average types of goals that people have in life, right? Like when I wanted to, make Forbes 30 under 30, stuff like that. There's a ceiling to it because you get there. Whereas with God, it's there is no ceiling because he's God. And so I feel for me, I just always feel we can go deeper and we can always go further. We can always climb higher. There is no limit. The limit does not exist. Don't know if those of you catch that reference, but the limit really does not exist. And for that reason, everybody, I just feel no one's dreaming big enough anyway. No one's dreaming big enough. No one's fighting hard enough. I'm God, if I have to dig deeper and face even harsher truths for the opportunity to go where no other human has gone, I'm willing to do it. And so it's exhausting me because I've taken the competitive side of myself, and there's it's the speed, it just keeps increasing, and it's not going to ever stop increasing. It's not the car has a limit of the maximum speed it can travel at, or an airplane or whatever. It's it just can keep going, and I'm just if I can be so honest, I'm bored of having to slow down. I'm really bored. I'm bored of having, and I'm not saying that other people are slow. I'm saying that what people are willing to put themselves through for what they want, for me, is not aligning, right? Because I would rather literally live. This is what I'm going through now. I'd rather literally hate every single second I'm alive if I know that I'm enduring for the purposes of rising above, right? And that's why no matter what, right, I feel I am actually, no offense, not to toot my own horn, I think I'm a greater example of what it truly means to be a winner than a lot of other people who, again, first of all, set themselves a ceiling. Oh, as long as I become a millionaire, I'm a millionaire. That's only 6 zeros. Do you think that millions going very far in this day and age? We're going to start talking at 9 zeros. If we're going to really be talking about money, amounts of money that are acceptable, we're going to be talking about 9 zeros. Millionaire, even billionaire. We want to save all the kids in the underground tunnels. We ain't got time for no 6 zeros. We're going to need to be building things, hiring people, getting them help, clothing, making sure they don't have any financial worries, food, all this stuff, right? Setting them up in life, potentially court cases, going to court. Like, that's just for one of my dreams, of all the many dreams that I have, just one of them. So when people are talking about, I'm praying to God because I would just really like to get this, I'm like, you know what? I have no problem with contentment. It's not about contentment, because I'm content now. This is why I can do what I'm doing now and just say, hey, I'm looking forward to uploading all these videos, putting my phone on Do Not Disturb for 24 hours. All I'm going to do is literally, the piece of my own experience, just play some games, watch some funny videos, maybe listen to some music, go out in nature, eat some food that I want to eat. That's it. That for me is like the perfect, like literally, I don't want to be anywhere. Like, I've been thinking about this. I don't be going anywhere. I don't even be ordering food because it's just not that interesting. Like, it's just not that interesting. You know what I mean? I just don't really care anymore. I really don't. What I want more than anything is to just be alone and be able to be myself. So like the thought of like going to a restaurant, it's like, and then here comes all the etiquettes I don't know about. And I'm not talking about like things like not chewing with your mouth open and not talking loudly on the phone. I'm talking about just random nonsense, like people, like if, whether it's appropriate to put your phone like this or put your phone like that and all these other things. It's just like, oh, for goodness sake, oh my gosh. And I actually need to walk this way because anyway. So, and so that's where I'm at, where I'm just like, I just can't be bothered with it all, mate. I can't be bothered. Like, we've got bigger fish to fry. Like, sometimes I get into conversations with folks, yeah. Like, it happens a lot where I'm like, we've got bigger fish to fry than this stupid conversation. I don't care. Like, this is why I keep saying to you guys, I don't care about all these dumb divisions. I don't care about what the government's doing. I don't care about, like, oh, I'm a woman and whatever, I'm a black person, you're a white person. I don't care. I don't really care. This is just all a wasted time. I don't care which political side you sit on. I don't care, because all of it, we know enough. So we're either going to put it into action and get to the streets and get serious, or I just want to be left alone. You know what I'm saying? So the only thing I have left to do, because I've been thinking, what do I do on YouTube? Like, I don't even really want to talk like that, just because, like, what's there to even talk about? Sorry, I just noticed this dude was like following me. I saw at the shop. He was just there loitering. So I had to take a little detour. Because unfortunately for me, I'm right by my house. I think he's gone. And so, yeah, I just don't care. Like, and I don't care. Like, I feel like the only thing holding me back now is the thought that, like, if I really go for 100%, right, 110%, I don't want to disappoint God and him be like, you did too much. You got to think about people's feelings. Like, that's what I'm worried about. And that's honestly what I'm sick of. I'm sick of always having to worry so much about everybody's feelings. Like, at the end of the day, guys, don't get me wrong. Feelings do matter. I believe feelings 100% matter, but they're not the full story, and they're certainly not the full thing that we trust in to make decisions, right? That's why, God gives us the word of God, which when the Holy Spirit speaks, the Holy Spirit can't contradict the Bible, because the Bible is logic. You can't have, if you're having spiritual things that is not rooted in the logic, then you're falling into things like witchcraft and all this stuff. I'm still going to go this other way, but yeah, he's gone. And so I'm thinking to myself, feelings they matter. Like I'm saying now, like, my feelings to an extent matter, but they're not the whole most important thing at the end of the day, right? There's other things to take into account. So yes, do I hate the state of my life? Whatever. Do I feel like if God was really, really that concerned about how I'm feeling, he would not just allow things to be as they are in my life right now? I do feel that way, but the truth is that there are other factors at play. God is also, in some ways, sometimes limited by our own free will. My disobedience, the disobedience of others. Ultimately, he did, and that's been one of the most humbling lessons, of this last couple months, I think that's where all my dreams died, is I realized that, you know what, so much of all of this that like I'm talking about right now, it's like, it's not even that God isn't listening. Not that I ever think he isn't, because I know they're paying attention to everything. Both kingdoms are paying attention to everything and noting down everything. Because remember, we're all going to be held accountable for everything. So, but I realized that there's almost like a part of God where it's like, and this is why I say our feelings are not always the most important thing. And a lot of times they're not the most important thing. I realized that with God and in his feelings, he's looking at us like, I'm really trying to help y'all, and y'all really making this hard for me. That's really where he's at. Like, I'm really actually trying to help you guys. I really am. And you guys are the ones making this difficult, because who can I entrust? He's like, yeah, of course we could start this revolution and stuff you've been talking about. Oh, Qatar. I want to get on an Emirates flight so badly, but I don't know where I want to go because I don't want to be anywhere. That's the other thing. I had all these places I wanted to travel to. Anyway, I talk about it in the series. I had all these places I wanted to travel to, like even by this part of the, I don't even want to travel anymore. Like, I don't even want to go. I don't want to be anywhere. But imagine, like, I'm like, God, I want to start this revolution. He's like, well, I had to think about it. Like, that might be right. That might be justice. But like, that might be a good thing, right? But look, who else is going to stand with you? Yeah, I'm prepared to supply everything else. But like, you guys have your own free will to choose whether you're going to stand up. I mean, look, even with these new Epstein file drop and all this stuff coming out, it's like everyone's waking up. How many of us have been talking about this for years? How many of us have been called conspiracy theorists, right? We're the ones getting called conspiracy theorists. We're the ones who get treated as though we're trying to work against society or cause controversy. Like, I've been called controversial, opinionated all my life, right? Always treated like I'm just trying to start a problem from nothing. Meanwhile, I'm actually fighting for the sake of everybody, and I'm actually fighting for everybody, because a lot of these rich and famous people, yeah, somebody even said it, and I said it myself, so I could keep laughing hearing people saying things I've said already, right? You know, the reason why Epstein never went to Epstein never visited Diddy's island, Diddy never visited Epstein Island, is probably because they were in competition with each other and they both had to be the top dog. And I talked about that, like their obsession with having to be the one on top, to be the one. And like, I feel like a lot of it is centered in the fact of them just being, you know, broken, weak, perverted men from the beginning, who have a obsession with needing to dominate and being in control because they were sick of being dominated and had people being in control of them, probably in their early stages of their life. So you've got people like them getting rich and famous in this world, because that's how this system works. And you have people like us over here at the winning team fighting for our lives, you know, not having strong relationships and all this stuff and all these things, yeah? And for what? And we're the ones who get critiqued. And the thing is, that's the same thing they did to God. This is what I'm saying. Sometimes your feelings, it's not the most important thing. Like, yeah, I might be feeling this way, but the truth is, this is what Jesus said. This is the actually life that I signed up for. This is the life I signed up for. I don't get to just only read the scriptures about how good Jesus came to give me life and life abundantly. God is going to do exceedingly abundantly above anything I can ask or think. I have to also read the parts where Jesus says, the world hates me, so they will hate you. The world persecutes me, so they will persecute you. Like, all we have to know what to expect to be a child of God in this life, in this even right now, is to just look at the way people treat God. They treat God as a joke. They don't mind making fun of him. They don't mind using his name as a slur. Even people who are so-called want to know, get to know him, critique every little thing he does, as long as he's not doing exactly what you want. That's why I'm just like, God, respectfully, I'm not you. So that's why I'm not rushing too quickly into doing certain things. But respectfully, it feels like people need to just actually be confronted with the truth in a new way. In a different way. You know what I mean? It seems like this whole nicey, nice thing isn't working out for us. And honestly, I kind of feel like, if you guys want to know my real thoughts, I kind of feel like, yeah, this is why, you know, even scientifically, there's this thing called natural selection, right? The strong survive. And it's just like, where is coddling the weak getting us? In reality, I've never walked down this bit here. I wonder where this goes. Oh, actually, of course I know where this goes. Like, we're not benefiting off of coddling the weak. We're not benefiting off of ignoring talking about certain topics and certain things. It was not benefiting us. That's my problem. If my thing is, listen, I will happily live a quiet, humble life here. But like, it's like if I'm going to be alive, if I'm actually going to participate, it's another thing I don't get. I don't get people just living for the sake of just, oh, I'm just going to live, and as long as I can like go to work and pay my bills. Like, so what's the point of you being here? And I feel like people don't want to think about that because it's an uncomfortable thought, right? But I'm like, what's the point of you being here? Like, that is such a meaningless way to live, right? You believe in the Big Bang Theory, you were just born because of, and again, so many things don't make sense. Okay, so say we're going to believe in the Big Bang Theory, yeah, which you guys already know. We've already dismantled that whole thing. And it's funny because the other day I saw this preacher guy in a video, and I felt so proud of myself, actually. And he was talking about how, you know, the devil, he was like, before Adam, when the times of Adam, before the sin, he was like, I don't think time existed, or time was different at that time, the way time operated, and it all began at the sin. And I was like, I've written a whole entire book, and I'm only 28 years of age, and I wrote it was 27. I started that theory when I was like 24. I was so proud of myself, like, that I could get that far ahead, like by myself, essentially just with you guys. And I'm listening to like a grown man who's been doing this for like 30 years, or for 40 years, 50 years, and has got all the community you can imagine, and a big pastor's studio with all the 30 books he's written over the years. It really made me feel like, you know what, maybe I am doing something right, and maybe I should give myself a bit of a break, you know. And I have been seeing a lot of things that I've said popping up with people talking about things that I've like said before, and I'm like, it's funny that, isn't it? Especially since I'm part of the problem generation again. There we go. This is another thing. We're the problem generation. What's wrong with the problem with Gen Z? The problem with Gen Z. So it's just like, yeah, oh my God. And you guys are probably part of it as well, because I really don't want to hurt you guys' feelings. Anyways, I have an apology as part of this these videos I recorded, so you'll all see it. But I also don't want to like hurt you guys' feelings. I really don't. Like, I don't want to like break any of your hearts. I don't want to crush your spirit at all. Because the point isn't about breaking people down. It's about building us up so we can actually be a fighting force. Because I was saying in the video before this one that the kingdom of darkness is unrelenting. Like, now we can finally connect back to the last video properly. The kingdom of darkness is unrelenting. It's actually right here where I'm standing right now. The last time I was walking in the opposite direction, where I made a video about this probably like a year ago. And I was saying to you guys that one of the realizations I've been having is that there's no use trying to play all goody good with somebody that's playing viciously. You have to fight viciously back. You know what I'm saying? And obviously you fight viciously in the right way, similar to like, you know, Jesus and his righteous anger. His anger, he's rightfully angry about things. God has righteous anger. He's rightfully angry about things. He rightfully retaliates to certain things, right? Like, you know, if you hurt one of these little ones, it's better that you throw yourself in the sea with a millstone. Like, that would be hate speech if you think about it. Technically today, telling somebody that they need to go that they should kill themselves as a result of their actions. But in this case, it's like, if you are the sick, twisted person who would hurt a child, who would decide as an adult to abuse your power, abuse your the fact that you can like do this, that's what it's better that you do that, better that you kill yourself than even be considered that, you know what I mean? Which I think is reasonable. I think it's very reasonable. But these are like the things where I'm saying you don't fight certain battles playing nice. You know what I mean? Certain battles, if the enemy's fighting hard, and that's probably, like I said, been the hardest lesson that I was literally right here when I was telling you guys about it the last time, is that, you know, I've been realizing that part of the reason as believers we're not successful is we're too nice. The grace thing isn't helping, because we're putting grace where it shouldn't be. When it comes to the people of the world who are actually trying, you know what I mean? People who maybe they've been to prison, or they're an addict, or they've had a really tough life or whatever. Then we want to sit as judge and jury and expect overnight for people to change, right? And you have the person that's never known about God but wants to try, has never heard about anything, comes into church, want to immediately be like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. When it comes to the people who know what they're doing, the people in power, the people who've put themselves up in certain positions, now we want to play, oh, we should wait for the evidence. Let's be nice. We've got to show grace. Bro, I don't think most people who want to know God would be comfortable enough to walk into a church and feel like they could just come as they are, not after they look like the part, not after they start to sound like the part, right? And then Christians will be the same ones who'll start telling you like, oh, they'll expect you should be doing this by tomorrow or this by next week just because you gave your life to Christ. It's a whole journey that we're going to be on for the rest of our lives. We're never going to be fully perfect. And that's the whole point of Jesus dying. You're literally speaking against the gospel by trying to make out that like if you tick these specific check boxes then you're perfect. It's like, no, you ticked one checkbox, which was faith. You received Jesus as your Lord and Savior, confessed with your mouth that Jesus is Lord, and believed in your heart is raised from the dead, as it says in Romans 10:9. Then you shall be saved. You ticked that checkbox, and that checkbox is the only thing you contributed to this. As a result, all these things happen. God's blessings, God's transformation, God's sanctification. All these things happen as a result. Right? And this is even how the Catholic Church gets you, because it's like you've been purified but you've not been sanctified or whatever, or sanctified but not purified. And so that's where they start to come up with all these weird things that they do and they get people to do, and all these weird laws and sacraments and all this stuff, which we are going to circle back to. I have an idea how to finish off that series, because honestly it's the perfect time. While I'm feeling this down and dark and miserable, I really should just go and finish that off, because and there's nothing that reminds me of feeling down and dark and miserable quite like the Catholic Church. To be honest with you, especially the Roman Catholic Church, and especially the church in this country, which is where we'll end up, right, in the rest of the series. So we're doing that, and we're busy having somebody that's actually trying. That's why I never judge anybody. As long as somebody is on the journey, I'm not going to judge you where you are, and I'm not going to whatever. My job is to love you the best way I know how, which is to show you grace, but also to tell you the truth. You know what I mean? And to show you truth as well, but with also grace, and not stand in the way of God, right? But in the body of Christ today, it's like you get grace or truth, even though it says in John that he came with grace, and in grace with truth. He's like, what is spread the love, spread the word in truth with love. I can't remember. It's like John 1 or something like that. And it's like, that's what makes being a Christian hard. That's what makes understanding God difficult, is that it's hard for us to decipher between when we're giving too much grace and when we're not giving enough grace, or when we're giving too much truth, when we're not giving enough truth in a situation. And God obviously knows how to do that perfectly, and he only knows that because he's the only one who knows absolutely everything about everyone, which is why we can never really judge how God does or doesn't do something, because we don't know the nitty-gritty details. You know what I'm saying? You might be seeing something in somebody's life and wondering why that's like that. Little do you know, God's like, yeah, well, actually, there's been this demon there for the past 800 years. And so they're going to have to get a lot stronger in the faith, and they're going to have to get a lot further in knowledge for me to be able to help them with this problem that we might just be looking at. It could be something as simple as, oh, this family has a history of everybody dying of breast cancer, for example. And we're thinking, oh, whatever, unless breast cancer is not a good choice. Let me say, poverty is a good one, right? And little do they know, because this has happened, well, actually 800 years ago, there was a sacrifice made. This is what I'm saying. We really don't. When the Bible says Hosea 4:6, like people perish for a lack of knowledge, this is what I'm talking about. So here's why I'm even out here just trying to reason in my head, God, what exactly do I actually have to do? Because I feel like the grace thing, not only do I not have the capacity to be so overly understanding, I feel like if anything, the solution is, it's about knowing who to target what type of energy to. And I genuinely feel like, as far as the leaders of the world, anybody that's put themselves in a position, anybody that's given themselves a title, I don't see why I should have to have so much grace for them. You put yourself there, you're supposed to be ready to be on the chopping block. You know what I mean? If I was an Olympian and I went to the Olympics, I wouldn't be expecting the judges to go easy on me because of my feelings. I wanted to compete in the Olympics. I stepped in. I came and I walked out in my outfit representing my country. This is me putting myself here, so I need to be prepared to handle the heat if I'm going to get in the kitchen. And that's kind of how I feel about a lot of these people. I'm like, well, if you're going to get in the kitchen, this is why I'm not getting in the kitchen. This is as far as I go, is to get in the kitchen. Because if I go any further into the kitchen, I don't know that I can handle the heat. And look at me now. You know what I mean? And well, then when it comes to others, it's sometimes, and this is the other sad thing I've been realizing, is that sometimes this is a hard truth. There has to be casualties in order to get to the victory. So sometimes, now that I'm thinking about it, there is just going to be a lot of times where a lot of people are just not going to get it, and I'm going to just have to think of the greater good. I was watching this anime, which ironically was stationed in this country. Well, I'm not going to get into the details, but anyway, in the show, I won't say in case anybody decides to watch it what the anime was, but I'll say what happened. So in the show, a guy starts this revolution, right? And again, this is by accident I came across this. You guys know, I was trying to take a break from thinking about this stuff. I thought, let me pick a random anime I've not ever heard anybody speak about and just pick it out of the name. So I had no idea what it was going to be about. Lo and behold, obviously this guy is living in a country and he's seeing all this injustice with the wealthy people versus everybody else, and there's all this division. One of the main divisions had to do with race, yada yada yada. And one race is being treated just, they're called numbers, and the other race, they're like, see those numbers as like not equivalent, they're like lesser citizens. Anyway, so he starts a secret group of people who are like equal opportunists. Wherever they see any injustice, no matter like what your age, race, whatever is, like any injustice, these people are coming out and the government is trying to get rid of them. But then the world starts to hear about them, it starts to cause revolt, and it starts to break apart this big large empire, right? This is what I was thinking, this is my dream I'm watching right now, even though I didn't want to have to think about it. But what he did in the show, yeah, and how it ended, I thought was actually genius, right? Because what he did was, he then realizes, because he was also an ex-royal himself, little does everybody know, because he keeps his identity hidden and he's behind a mask, even to his own people. So he goes through all of this, and there's a lot of details to it, but long story short, he eventually, he like starts to claim that he's going to take over the world, he's going to make himself the emperor, blah blah blah, and he does do it. But he has this all for a reason, because a lot of people start to question him, question his motives. Some of his friends find out who he is, they're disappointed in his actions. He kills some of his own siblings because he's a royal. He does a lot of things that nobody understands, right? And a lot of people do actually end up dead, right? Anyways, all in all, his plan was, which I thought was absolutely genius, at the very end, he was going to get somebody else that he trusted, his friend that he trusted, who always wanted to do good, but was trying to do it through the army without realizing that that's never going to happen from the inside, which is a revelation I've also had, that this is never going to work. There's no place, there's no job any of us can do. I've been told by the horse's mouth multiple times, by the way, as well, like in different areas, whether it be like the police, the education system. I've been heard from the horse's mouth, from people in the field who are in high enough positions to say it, that I'm right about a lot of things that I say, but that it's not going to change from the inside. It's never going to change from the inside. So I'm not even making stuff up when I say a lot of stuff. I just can't share where I get information from, because I'm trying to respect the fact that these people went out of their way to actually hear me out. So why am I going to bring them into this? But anyway, eventually he trusts his friend, whose friend realizes that he's fighting for the wrong side after they tried to kill each other a couple of times. And his big take on what his plan was at the very end, right, after all these people had to die, right, for everybody to get there, and after all this, was that he was intentionally drawing all the hatred of the world, of everybody, to himself, because he was trying to find something that would unite everybody and stop all this division. And he just decided, like, this is his, because he came from the family that had created all this terror. He came from this, like, he was going to sacrifice himself. So then him and his friend make a secret plan where his friend is going to now show up as the secret underground, leader guy. And he's going to kill him on live broadcast right when he's about to, when he's just proven that he's the most powerful leader on all of the earth, right? And that's like the big thing of everybody's was starting to hate him, and they were just being ruled by fear, and they were like, oh, this is what he's going to rule like. So no matter where everybody was in the world, no matter which side they were on, they were all had hatred towards him, and they were united in their hatred towards him and killed him. And then even his friends, the ones who were mad at him, some of them, they realized oh, this is what he was doing, and because he realized that that's what he had to do. And this is what I'm trying to say. I've been thinking that the reality is that for a lot of the things we actually want to achieve, it's not going to be the nice that we're all hoping for. There's going to be casualties. There's going to be people that are going to get hurt along the way, because that's the nature of humans. It's going to be tough. It's going to be like a war, whether a physical one, whether it's a physical war, whether it's a digital war, whether it's it's already always a spiritual war anyway, right? It's just not going to be pretty regardless. And I think I try not to be the bearer of bad news, right? I really do. I try not to say stuff to you guys and be like, guys, it's all bad. But sometimes the truth, this the truth that hurts. Like, this is why I've been avoiding talking about things like World War III, because I do think it's imminent. Like, I've had a vision. I'll talk about this in these videos coming up. But I had a vision where there was bombs going off. I saw specific countries. Like, oh my gosh. It's like at a certain point, like, I love to see people smile. And I think that's what's hard for me, is that my biggest driving force in life is I just want to see everybody happy. I want to see everybody happy. I want to see everybody whole. I mean, like, today's Valentine's Day. I actually like Valentine's Day. It's one of the holidays I've enjoyed, which is ironic. And me, who's all like, I don't want to be married, I don't have children. And they're probably one of the best days I've ever had in my life was a Valentine's Day. It was a Valentine's Day. The Valentine's Day of dreams. And so actually I have nothing against Valentine's Day, but you know what I mean? It's like, I look at just what we're doing and it's just like, guys, we're just focused on the wrong things right now. Like, let's celebrate when we know we can actually celebrate, when we're not under the government and we're not, just like, there's not kids being tortured the way that they are. Like, let's celebrate afterwards. Like, I want to see everybody happy. I want to see everybody smile. I love seeing people, like, I love seeing everybody enjoying themselves, but I'm also just like, that enjoyment is like sand going through our fingertips, because the powers that be are working hard for us to be their slaves more and more every day. So me enjoying myself today and another day, it's not that it's going to get better. It's only going to get worse. The less I'm doing, the less we're all doing. So I can't just live with that. Is essentially what I'm trying to say. I can't just live with that. I can't just turn a blind eye. I can't just pretend it's good enough, because it's just not. It's just not good enough. We need to stand up. We need to step up. We need to address the hard truths that we don't want to have to address. You know what I mean? Like, even with this, and like, I don't know, like I said, I'm going to try not to think about all this stuff, but I know how this goes. As soon as I tried to take a break, this is how I ended up watching this anime, because it was actually last weekend, I think. I end up trying to take a break. Like, I'm going to take the day off. I'm going to not think about anything serious. I'm just going to disconnect. And then it will always be like that. And then I end up having to think even deeper about everything because of whatever that's in my face. Because we're not escaping it, guys. We can't run. We can't escape from the reality eventually. So that's why I just come from the school of thought of, let's just address it now and address it head on. But that's why I probably come across as confrontational to people. So I'm like, why am I going to let things fester for weeks, months? And when people do that with me, I feel like you're such a weak ass coward. Like, if somebody has a problem with me and they haven't said it, and then they bring it up like a year later in anger as if like I should have known, I'm like, you are a weak ass coward. I don't even respect you enough to care to have you in my life now anyway. So the fact that you're blowing up at me like this, now I already lost respect the moment you just sat on that and you didn't say something. So I don't care. So you now thinking you have something to say and you're going to like get all in my face and or have all this like, I already don't want to care to have you in my life anymore, because I've now lost every ounce of respect I had for you, right? It's like, I can't stand that. Why are we going to let things fester? And everyone wants to say life's too short. Well, here's my thing. Life's too short for us to just be not addressing things. Like, it's just because it's uncomfortable. A lot of things that are good for you are uncomfortable, right? Think about when you used to have to take medication, even now as adults, it's just that you're used to it. But as a kid, you didn't want to do that. You don't want to eat your fruits and vegetables a lot of the time, right? You don't want to go to the gym. You don't want to put your body through all of this. This is why we've all got freaking GLP-1s now. That's just for weight loss management. It used to be for diabetes. Now it's for weight loss, because being disciplined and whatnot is so difficult. Like, respectfully, we don't like to put ourselves through uncomfortable things, right? Facing up to the truth, having to deal with the fact of realizing what you wanted for your life or what you thought you would be or who you thought you are isn't actually who you are. That's not comfortable, but it's better to do that and to address it than it is to just ignore it and keep going on, and then just to be old and be like, if I could go back in time. And then it's always the older folks, if I could go back to my youth, I wouldn't have cared so much. And it's like, how many times do we have to hear the same things from people on death's door and like still not change our ways? Like, this is my thing. So anyway, I'm going to skedaddle. Like you can see, I've got so much to say, and I just feel like, as I'm even talking now, I feel like everything I've even said in the last 48 hours or whatever doesn't even scratch the surface of how much I feel like is inside of me. And I'm just like, God, where and how do I supposed to get all this stuff out? And what am I supposed to say? Like, where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? Because it just feels like what people's level of capacity is like nowhere near close what it needs to be. And I just personally like feel like I'm going to burst. And I just want to, preemptively know what I'm supposed to do, because otherwise I am just gonna burst. I'm just gonna burst, and because I'm only a human, even I have my own capacity. I can only handle so much myself. I can only hold back so much. I can only see so much injustice and see so much deception and all this, and just destruction and dysfunction. And I can only keep so silent for so long. You know what I mean? Because then otherwise I have to start questioning myself on if I really am who I say I am. And if I really say that, oh, you're the winning team, all these bollocks, like I'm not claiming to have, to be fair, but like I'm giving off that I have at a certain point. But it's just like, God, even just the bare little I've done throughout my life of really saying what I have to say seems so divisive, right? I was thinking about this the other day, yeah, because I saw in the Bible study, the group of all these girls in this Bible study thing, and there's like 200 girls in there, yeah, women of many ages, of all over the world. And some girl said something, and I just decided, screw it, I'm going to say exactly what I really think. And like 2 or 3 or maybe 5 people had something to say. Then another girl chimed in to kind of comment on what I had said, and she was doing the nicey nice thing, and we're all well-meaning. And I just called out everybody's intent. Like, I don't know what came over me, but I was like, I'm just going to call out everybody's intentions, and I did. Do you think anybody has said anything? It's like as soon as I speak the truth, it goes silent. This is why my channel has got barely any subscribers, right? This is why, although it's a lot to me, as you guys know, it's a lot to me. Other people make it seem like, oh, you're not even monetized yet. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you telling me that there's over 800 people who have subscribed to my channel? That's a freaking insane, right? I don't really get comments. Of course not. When I open my mouth, it goes silent. That's what I hate. That's exactly what I hate. So anyways, I'm going to go and just try and disconnect. I feel really emotional all of a sudden. It's not easy, guys. It's not easy, but would I rather be here in this situation as I am? Or would I rather be doing whatever the devil asks me to do for the sake of money, power, and fame? I think I'm good. I think I'm real good over here. I'm going to have my humble little day. It is the Sabbath, so happy Sabbath, everyone. I'm going to have my humble little day and just regroup. I'm going to go in, have a nice shower, get like everything all together, you know what I mean? And just create a nice little ambiance. I bought myself some snacks. I'm just going to try and enjoy the day. You know what I mean? I made some salad I'm going to eat later. I just need to finish it off, some of the ingredients. You know what I mean? I'm just going to just vibe, play some games, watch some ridiculous videos, you know what I mean? And just chill. And try, because this is all I can do, and just wait for the Lord to answer some of these questions. But yeah, guys, so just wait out. You're going to see it coming up. These videos. It's my funeral. If you want to know what that means, just come and watch it. And no, I'm not dying. No, I'm not going to take my life or nothing like that. But I kind of just did a series, basically like what I would do if I knew I was going to die tomorrow and I had to get everything off my chest, like what I would say, and I split it into a whole bunch of videos. Because I'm just trying to find ways, like it's like an exercises to give myself to like use my voice more, like, you know what I'm saying? So you'll see that all there. So go and have a look for that. I don't know when exactly that will come out, but these 2 videos will come out first. And that one will be titled Welcome to My Funeral. I might even make a thumbnail. That might be something fun for me to do as well today. It's just make a thumbnail that's dramatic for absolutely no reason. But yeah, guys, I'm fighting for my life. I'm fighting for us all. And I'm just keeping it real with you guys. I mean, sometimes I think to myself, I'm so used to so far the opposite of what I'm doing that I'm always going to be uncomfortable because people are so much hiding behind masks and this and that. There was another concept in one of these animes I was watching about how that's actually the main character. That's what he realized, because he realized that there was a whole nother universe that was built up of people's masks. Like the spiritual world essentially was like built up of the masks of people, like the faces that they try to pretend to be, and like it's just all this stuff. And I'm just thinking, this is insane that I've watched something by accident. And that's exactly what I think. And it was like his problem, what he was fighting for is he was fighting for reality and for people to like basically have free will and the powers that be of his family were fighting to essentially control everybody. And it made me think so much about the difference between free will and like how free will does truly mean we have to be able to do whatever we want as humans, whether good or bad. Like, if we wanted everything to be good, God would genuinely have to control us. He would genuinely have to control us, right? Also, I'd just like to remind everybody that Jeffrey Epstein used to be a teacher. Just want to add that in there. If I'm not mistaken, a math teacher at that. So if God is going to, and it's just a humbling thought that the people in power, they were trying to do good, but their way of doing good was by controlling everybody. And I'm not going to go down that road because that's just another whole thought track. I'm going to go because if life's the game is played to win. God bless you all. God loves you. I love you. And I'll see you in my next one. Also, happy Valentine's Day. If you do celebrate Valentine's Day, it's one of the holidays that doesn't actually bother me really. Although it does make me laugh how people like get into full-blown arguments. It goes back to what I was saying earlier, like when it's just like this, we've got bigger fish to fry. We've got bigger fish to fry than if somebody made a big deal about you on Valentine's Day, or even if you had a Valentine. Like, we've got bigger fish to fry than that in this life. So when people are all complaining or worried or sad for spending another Valentine's Day alone, I'm like, bro, there's kids in underground tunnels being tortured. We've got bigger things to deal with. We've got the kingdom of darkness running rampant. We've got AI that's now going to be used to like, to distract people, or to, now it's going to be the new excuse. Oh, that wasn't a real video. And the next set of files that drops in the next 50 years, what's going to happen? They're going to be like, oh, none of this is real. This is all AI. Then everyone's going to be like, yeah, it's AI. And I'm like, oh. Anyway, life's the game that's played to win. Check out the series that's coming, guys, because I can't believe I said everything I said in this. You'll be able to tell I was in a silly mood. I'd had 2 double shots of espresso, and you guys know I barely drink coffee. And yeah, had me a little bit more between that and my just delirium of feeling like I'm on the edge of insanity. Anyways, life's a game, it's played to win. God bless you all. God loves you. I love you. I'll see you in my next one.